Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Wednesday, January 5th, 2011, and I am Darko. This is part 3 of January 4th's War on Terror, Liberty, Sovereignty news segment, but I'm finished in here in the Central Standard Time, so I'm actually in the next day. But either way, I'm going to finish up with what I have left here. Some interesting articles. New listeners, if you're just joining us, please visit www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. All right, so we finish up with this, and I made my little point about the police now and why, using steroids for police is now about as common as it is for athletes, is because what? They're, before, police would be peace officers, not political law enforcement officers, so they didn't have to physically engage people and citizens as much. Now, as the tyranny has been elevated, incrementally over the last 50 years or so, especially with the war on drugs and the war on terror, those two wars, right, are all about the war, a war on the individual and the individual's sovereignty. So they have to physically force the citizens to capitulate, force them to abide by these political laws, right? So they're enforcing political law. They need to be physically strong because what they're doing is not morally right. The government and their little minions need to force political law onto citizens because, for the most part, they don't accept it. And that's how you would think. Well, you would think that that's how you would know that you're not living in a democracy, but people haven't got that yet. A democracy or a republic, democratic republic, I think is what we're considered to be here in the U.S., but I don't really consider it to be either of that. It's just kind of a fascist dictatorship, and that's pretty much it. Basically, they've been militarized, okay? The police have been militarized. So if you want to be like, gung-ho Mr. Delta Force, you're going to start, getting juiced up, right? And we're going to move on. U.S., Russia to conduct new drills. The United States and Russia are planning new hijacking exercises to test their air defense abilities in the face of what they call potential international hijacking by the terrorists. Says China preparing for armed conflict in every direction. China is preparing for conflict in every direction, the defense minister said on Wednesday in remarks that threatened to overshadow a visit to Beijing by his U.S. counterpart next month. He said in the coming 5 years, our military will push forward preparations for military conflict in every strategic direction, said Ling Guangli in the interview published by several state-backed newspapers in China. Quote, we may be living in peaceful times, but we can never forget war, never send the horses south or put the bayonets and guns away. In other words, you always have to have a standing army. And yeah, China really hasn't been in war in how long? And that's because the powers that be don't want them to be. So if they want them to be the global military force, well then that's what they'll be. Right now they're the global manufacturing force. And the U.S. has pretty much had the reins for the military global force. We'll see if they split that up. But they do have a lot of people, that's for damn sure. China boasts breakthrough in nuclear technology. And I also look forward to that movie Red Dawn that'll be coming out. And it says here, Chinese scientists have made a breakthrough in spent fuel reprocessing technology that could potentially solve China's uranium supply problem, state television reported on Monday. I like how they say state television. It's like with Press TV, Iran's, a state-run press agency, and it's just like, well, I'm reading all these American ones, whether they're Fox, CNN, Reuters, and it's like, well, they're all on the side of the globalists. They're all on the side of these big international corporations. Well, partly because they are international corporations, but they are not for national sovereignty or individual sovereignty or personal freedom. You can tell because almost all, if not the majority of mainstream news articles are whitewashing, they are facts fixing, they are gatekeeping, and they are agenda setting. So they might as well be in the pockets of the government. But see, that's where it gets kind of sticky, right? Is because the government is a corporation, and I like to look at it a different way. You have different types of fascism, whereas like in Germany, you kind of had this big state, and it was kind of it was more about the actual state as a corporation, and then the state kind of running corporations, telling them what to do. Whereas in the United States, it's the corporations that actually run things. Reuters, CNN, Disney, ABC, which is the same. But anyways, so it's a little bit different here in the U.S. The corporations are the government, just kind of like in Mexico, where the drug cartels are the government. In the U.S., the corporations are the government, and it's just like in Germany. In Germany, you know, that was a corporation too, Third Reich, and in the U.S., our government right now is a corporation too. It just depends on. It doesn't really depend on anything. If you just look at China, you see they have the People's Daily Online, and like I said, Press TV in Iran, and you know, that's just how it goes. So they're more communistic. They're more they kind of go towards or lean towards the Leninist philosophy, while we in the West like to go with the Fabianist philosophy, where it's more laid back and you think you're free. So that's how they're able to get away with it. Anyways, probably beat that point dead. But anyways, coolest police vehicle starting patrolling at Tiananmen Square. Oh, look at that. It's the People's Daily Online, state-run news agency. Recently, intelligent two-wheeled police vehicles started patrolling Tiananmen Square in Beijing. That's funny, because isn't it like the place, ground zero, for where the people were rebelling against the police state and the government? Policemen can drive this vehicle to carry out many actions easily and limberly through hand controls by shifting their body weight. Many Tiananmen visitors praise it as the coolest police vehicle due to its small size and smart design. I wonder what they would say about that new police cruiser that I posted in my last video. Is that the coolest police vehicle ever? I don't know. Maybe we should have some kind of vote or contest, the coolest police vehicle. Nearly 500 police micro-blogs launched in China. Thought this was kind of weird. I mean, look at these pictures. They all look kind of mean and stereotypical, don't they? But either way, nearly 500 microblogs were opened by public secretary authorities in China to serve in important platforms and expanding cooperation among police in different regions, and the Xinhua news agency report. So what is this, guys? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's kind of like this Eco-Snoop application for iPhones. It's like calling it. You see these billboards on the side of the expressway and that with report a gun. You know, report illegal guns. Well, how do you know it's illegal? You end up reporting on every swinging dick so that you can try to get some money out of it, right? And it's all about basically training, conditioning the public to accept snitching on other people, right? No privacy rights whatsoever at all. But also, it's about serving a higher purpose, which is the state, right? Which is the big corporation. And you're just a little asset that is like a sub-corporation, if you can consider that, because that's what your name is. It's a big corporate name. So you are a corporate entity, and you are a sub-corporation of the big corporation known as the state. So let me show you the example here. It says in August 2010, I'm not sure what this is, but it says a netizen published her suicidal intention via microblog, which was pretty dumb on her part. You should just, if you're going to do it, put a bullet in your head, or, you know, do the cyanide, or slit your wrist. Just do it, man. Just, I don't know. You don't call the cops, which attracted 100,000 online, and she reported to the public security microblogs. The police authorities in Beijing and Jing jointly carried out the rescue operation and published the progress via the microblogs, which received praise from the netizens, the report said. So, yeah, I mean, she's probably suicidal because of just the society that she's living in, and she can't live anymore. And so she calls the exact people that helped cause this just horrible, sad state to come help them so that she can live longer and become, you know, and just live that nice enslaved life even more, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's just pretty sad. So it's a big Snoop thing. Bloody January in Egypt's Alexandria. Christians of Egypt are furious, while their compatriots in Iraq, Palestine, and Lebanon are extremely worried. And this is something that's on the rise right now. You can definitely tell the earlier this year and part of last year, it was about attacking domestic, well, it still is about domestic terrorists, i.e. White Christians. And now you have Fox News allows guests to promote holy war on Muslims. and that's why you have all these Christian bombings, and you have bombings, and I think it was in Utah, and a Mormon thing, and in Pakistan. And it says the year has just begun, and already Fox and Sean Hannity is telling the story of how Christians are being persecuted in the Arab world. Hannity observed that a holy war may be brewing in the Middle East, as he reported on New Year's Eve bombing of the Christian church in Egypt. Okay, so I can finish up here. I want to make this other point here, which is what I think. Okay, as far as the whole Bible thing goes, and the apocalypse and the end days and revelations, I honestly believe that the powers that be, which mainly are centered out of Israel, but they are basically families. They're bloodlines, and they're everywhere. They're in Russia, they're in Austria, Switzerland, they're in not so much the U.S. because most of them live outside the U.S., but I think you get what I'm saying. And the powers that be basically are going to actually, it's going to be like a self-fulfilling prophecy where it's not going to actually take place the way you think. It's just going to be brought on by technology. It's going to be brought on by psyops. It's going to be brought on by these people who are pitting the world and the religions against each other. Of course, religious warfare, like economic warfare, or like I said, race warfare or gender warfare. They have all those warfares going right now, but this is another type, religious warfare. So I think anyone that's somewhat savvy to the Bible, or what some religious people refer to as the end times, or basically it's a war against Islam and a holy war. And so the powers that be are going to put all this stuff out, and they're going to make sure that whatever needs to happen as far as attacks and bombs and stuff like that happens, so that people will freak out, and they won't know what to do, and they'll turn to the same people that are lying to them for the answers. So that's what I think, and that's what I think the birds in the sky was all about. I think that was electromagnetic pulse, or HARP, or some kind of weather modification, and basically, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like locusts or different things, birds falling out of the sky is kind of apocalyptic looking. So again, they're bringing on this end times prophecy. So I don't really think it's real. I don't think it's the end of the world. Spain enforces tough anti-smoking law. It says Spain has enforced one of Europe's strictest anti-tobacco laws, which bans smoking in all bars, restaurants, and public places, including even some outdoor areas. Eventually, they're going to ban smoking altogether. That's my little theory. I don't know why. Alan Watt proposes the idea that because of the chemtrails that they're spraying, the smoking actually has like is counteractive or counterintuitive to the chemtrails, which get into your system, your respiratory system, and the smoking helps you cough at all that crap up that's supposed to be going into your bloodstream, the nanoparticles and the barium and all that, and aluminum. But anyways, Spain, I've been there. I've been to Morón, and I've been to Sevilla, a beautiful country, and the people are really nice, trendy, smart, and I love their bars and their nightlife, and they're big time smokers out there, and especially in Europe, but in Spain, I remember they like to smoke as well, and this is going to be bad news for Spaniards. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo seeks to freeze public workers' pay. And say, thank you, Andrew. European nations begin seizing private pensions. That's good, too. Hundreds at New York church possibly exposed to virus. And see, here we go, right? Health officials say hundreds of people may have been exposed to hepatitis A while receiving communion. Again, guys, this is why all these little bomb attacks happened over Christmas. They are trying to get rid of Christmas. They are trying to demonize Christmas. Like I said, holy war, it's fabricated holy war. New World Order will see farmers and miners in charge. Commodities look to set for another bull run this year, driven by fundamental demand for emerging economies, principally China. We list the trends to look for. The link will be posted. Court okays searches of cell phones without warrant. This will be your next wallet, swiping your smartphone. Be ready, folks. Computers that see you and keep watch over you. Facebook generations suffer information withdrawal syndrome. How about that? Anger at council's appalling use of school biometrics. Police demand new powers to stop and search terror suspects, which is you, the ordinary citizen. Sarkozy warns that 100,000 illegal downloaders. And philanthropy plan. Donate to charity every time you pay by bank card. This is Global Government News, and I am Darko. Thank you very much.